We are going to prove the laws of reflection using wavefront theory. First, we have to use a XY reflecting plane surface. This one is nothing but it is a plane mirror. Now I am going to draw the incident rays. Let us imagine this is the incident ray which is named as LA. Okay, so this is the first incident ray. Now we have to draw one more ray, that is another parallel ray that is made to incident on the plane surface. The name of the ray can be named as M and B dash. M B dash is another incident ray. Now I have drawn two incident rays. Are you clear? So for that I have to draw the normal. Okay. So at the point of incidence I have to draw the normal. Here there is an angle. That name of the angle can be called as angle of incidence. That is mentioned as I. Are you clear? Here also at the point of incidence I have to draw one more normal. So whenever you draw any ray you have to draw the normal. Are you clear? So I have drawn two normal for both the two rays. We know very well that clear. The angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection as per the theory of laws of reflection. So here we are going to prove the same laws of reflection using wavefront. Now I am going to draw the wavefront. How the wavefront will be? Wavefront will be always perpendicular to the rays. Here I have drawn two rays. For the two rays I have to draw the wavefront. How the wavefront will be? Look at that. So this is the thing what I am having now in my hand. That sheet can be assumed as a wavefront. For parallel rays I have to draw the plane wavefront. So for each point when the ray travels we can draw the plane wavefront like this. When the wavefront are drawn one by one for each point, when it touches A, when the ray touches A, there this wavefront also that should be assumed that the wavefront touches the surface. Therefore this wavefront is called as incident wavefront. Okay, since it touches the surface, the name of the wavefront which is drawn for the incident rays can be called as what is this? Plane wavefront can be called as incident wavefront. Are you clear? So always the wavefront will be perpendicular to the rays. Make a note. So now I have to draw a perpendicular line. I have to draw a perpendicular line. That perpendicular line that shows the wavefront. Make a note. Now I am going to draw the wavefront. So this is the perpendicular line drawn to the rays. Are you clear? So this is the perpendicular line. Exactly we have to draw. Are you clear? Again I will show you the green colored line that shows the three-dimensional form of the plane wavefront. This is the wavefront which is drawn for these two incident rays. That's why this wavefront is called incident plane wavefront. Can you understand? Now if you measure the angle here, in between this reflecting surface and the plane wavefront, you will get the same angle I. Make a note. Same angle I you will get. Now angle of incidence can be defined in another form also. Angle between the incident plane wavefront and the reflecting surface is called as angle of incidence. So clear. Previously in lower classes we have defined that angle between the normal and the incident ray is called angle of incidence. Now we are able to define the same angle of incidence in some other form. How will you define angle between the incident plane wavefront and the reflecting surface is also called as I. Make a note. Are you clear? Now when the ray travels from L to A, the ray M is clear, it travels from here to here. Are you clear? That is from M to B. Make a note. In L, the ray L starts its journey from here to A means, reaches A means, the ray it will start its journey from M and it may have reached B. Are you clear? After incidence what this ray will do, first ray will do, first ray will get reflected. Are you clear? How long it will reflect? How long it will go? So clear, the path of journey must be found out. When the ray gets reflected here, this ray it has to travel this distance, B dash. Are you clear? So since the medium is same, since the air medium is there, so clear, the distance traveled by the second ray from here to there is B dash. This much distance must be traveled from A. So clear, by the first ray. B dash distance must be traveled by the first ray. So how will you find out? Now here what we have to do now, after getting reflection the ray, first ray it may have traveled this much distance, B dash distance. So how to draw the ray? Look at that. The distance B dash must be taken with the help of the compass. Look at that. This is the method. This distance B dash must be taken in compass, and this point must be kept exactly at A, and after that what you have to do? You have to draw the arc. Are you clear? You have to draw the arc like this. Are you clear? This is the method of finding the distance. Are you clear? When the ray touches A, first ray touches A, this ray, second ray, it has to travel B dash distance. This B dash distance must be taken into account here. So after getting reflection, the ray, it has to travel how much distance? B dash distance it has to travel after getting reflection. Now I have taken the same distance. How much? B dash distance. The pointer, that point must be kept exactly at A. I have drawn the arc. Now what you have to do? You have to draw the tangent. From B you have to draw the tangent. So this is the arc point. Are you clear? So you draw the tangent right from the clear point B dash. So here draw the tangent. So this is the tangent drawn. Now I am going to draw the reflected ray which gets reflected from A. Are you clear? Now I am going to draw the reflected ray. Are you clear? So from A I am drawing the reflected ray. So this is the point exactly the tangent lies. So this is the reflected ray. Are you clear? Make a note. So this distance, that is B dash distance is drawn here. It is taken here. Now this one should be named as A dash. This one must be named as A dash. Therefore A dash is equivalent to B dash. Make a note. So when it travels from B dash, this ray would have traveled A dash distance. Are you clear? Now everything must be drawn in proper form. This is a reflected ray. Are you clear? Now parallel to this reflected ray, I have to draw one more reflected ray here. Keep the scale very closer to this and bring the scale in a parallel form. Draw the reflected ray. Are you clear? After drawing the reflected rays, even for reflected rays, we have to draw one more wavefront. How the wavefront should be drawn? Look at that. These two are the two reflected rays. For these two reflected rays, I have to draw the which one? Wavefront. This is called reflected wavefront. So what I am keeping now is called as reflected wavefront. Always wavefront must be perpendicular to the rays. Always the wavefront must be drawn perpendicular to the rays. These two are the reflected rays. For that I have to draw one wavefront. That wavefront must be perpendicular to the rays. I have shown the three-dimensional form of the reflected wavefront. Now I am going to draw the wavefront by using green color line. Are you clear? How to draw? Look at that. I am drawing the wavefront. So the line what I have drawn is called as reflected wavefront. Understood? Now this is the incident wavefront. This is the reflected wavefront. Now I am going to measure the angle here in between the normal and the reflected ray. Are you clear? This ray must be named as B dash M dash. This ray must be named as A L dash. So these two are incident rays. These two are reflected rays. This is the wavefront drawn for incident ray. Therefore this one must be called as incident wavefront. This is the wavefront drawn for reflected rays. Therefore it should be called as, what is this? Reflected wavefront. Are you clear? Now measure the angle between normal and the reflected ray. Here this angle is called as, what is this? Angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. If you measure this angle, note down, this is a reflected wavefront. No, in between the reflected wavefront and the surface, if the angle is measured, you will get the same angle R. Make a note. How will you define angle of reflection? Angle between the reflected wavefront and the plane surface can be called as, what is this? Angle of reflection. Now we have to prove that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Are you clear? Angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection. Here geometrically, clear, certain things must be written one by one. First, note down the triangle. Look at the triangle here. Now I am showing one triangle. No, What is the name of the triangle called? The triangle, is clear, look at that. The triangle, two triangles are here. The two triangles, what is that? AB, B dash, B dash. Here, what is the angle here? The angle is 90. Make a note. Here also an angle is there. That is also equal to 90. So, the angle B, angle at B and angle at A dash, both are equal to 90. All references must be written one by one. Are you clear? And then, for how many triangles are there here? First triangle is AB, B dash. B dash. One triangle is there. Are you clear? So there, what is the angle now? At B, 90 degrees there. Look at the another triangle. In angle, look at the triangle B dash, A dash, A. There also the angle is how much? 90. Here two triangles are there. These two triangles are called as congruent. Which two triangle? Triangle AB, B dash and triangle, which one? B dash, A dash, A. These two triangles are called as congruent. Why they are called as congruent? Already you may have already learnt about all the properties of a congruent triangles. What are the properties? This side must be equal. This side must be equal to this side. That is AB must be equal to A dash, B dash. Are you clear? This side AB must be equal to this one. Two triangles, they should have a common side here. For this triangle, this is the common surface. AB dash is the common side. Are you clear? So, first you have to prove that this side is a common for both. So, therefore, I am going to draw the triangle separately. Both the two triangles to be drawn separately. Look at that. Here, I will draw this portion alone. Look at that. We have to draw like this. So, this is triangle A, B, B dash. Here what is angle? 90 degree. We have to draw one more triangle. This part I am going to draw. Here also 90 degree is there. There the angle A dash is there. Here these two are represented by 90 degree. Here also 90 degree is there. Here also 90 degree is there. Here you can see some perpendicular line. And here for this triangle and also for this triangle, this is the common side. Which one is the common side? A, B dash is the common side. Are you clear? This side is common to both the two triangles. And then if you remove this triangle and keep it on the first triangle, both of them will be matching with one another, and the second triangle that can be made to overlap on the first triangle. That's why we can say that A dash, B dash, this side will be equal to which one? AB. Are you clear? A dash, B dash will be equal to AB. First property can be said. Second thing is A dash and triangle B both are equal to how much? 90 degree. And then A dash, B dash is the common side for both the two triangles. Are you clear? And then this distance B dash, which one? B dash. I'll write one by one. Again I'll explain. Here A dash, B dash will be equal to AB. A dash, B dash is equal to AB. Angle A dash and B both are equal to 90. A dash here AB is the common side for both the two triangles, and then we can write that AB is equal to, what is this? AB is equal to A dash B dash also. Okay, understood? And then one more we can say, this A dash is equal to B dash. Are you clear? Since the triangles, they are same in all aspects, and one triangle that can be made to overlap on another one, so clear, we can say that these two triangles are congruent in nature. Therefore, so clear, the angle what is measured here, that is called angle of incidence. Are you clear? Angle of incidence. Where the angle of incidence is measured? Here. Then this is called angle of incidence. The same angle that can be obtained here. Are you clear? The angle what is measured here, that one will be equivalent to this triangle. Here 90. Here this angle must be equal to this one. Understood? Therefore, the angle B dash is equal to how much? I. Angle I. Are you clear? The angle A dash B dash A is equal to R. Are you clear? Which two are equal? This angle must be equal to this one. Are you clear? Since the triangles are congruent, these two will be equal. How will you write? B dash, that is angle of incidence I. Another angle is there. A dash B dash A, that is equal to R. Therefore, we can say that these two are equal. A dash B dash A is equal to which one? B dash. So finally we can prove that I is equal to R. So we have proved the angle of incidence only with the help of wavefronts, not with the help of rays. Make a note. So here two triangles are there. This triangle and this triangle both are congruent triangles. According to the property of congruency, this side is equal to this side, this side is equal to this side, this side is equal to this side. For these two triangles, here common side is there. Are you clear? If you cut the triangle, if you cut the piece of the triangle, and if it is kept on the another triangle, both of them will be looking similar. That's why these two triangles are called as congruent triangles. Are you clear? And moreover, the angle at B and angle at A dash both are equal to 90. From all those, the property of the congruency, we have proved that the angle of incidence I and the angle of reflection here both are equal as per the geometry. Are you clear? Note down, this angle is equal to this one.